Whiskey and Wade going all the way. What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and Wade Show with me, your host, Tommy Mack.
I'm your better host, Terry McKenna.
And we are here, as always, in Lab Fitness, the #1 fitness gym in the West. If you want to come in, get in shape, you know what to do. Hit the website, www.labfitness.co.uk. And we've got 2 new sponsors for this month.
We're raking it in. Rolling in the dough.
So we've got Bad Boys Mexican. You know, this is the finest Mexican food you'll find anywhere in Belfast.
I love tacos. Are my favorite food, and Bad Boys Mexican tacos are unbelievable. So get down there.
Yeah, burrito bowls, the loaded fries. Loaded fries are great.
Yeah.
So 5-star service. Calling it the Grancy shop, or you can get a wee delivery. The number is 90139449, and we're also got the one and only Dream Mentorship on board.
Tom Smith, what a guy. We met him yesterday. Had a good chat.
Yeah, you know, Tom is the man, and if you want to take your mindset to the next level, you know, the mentorship's for everyone.
Yeah.
Tyrone's
I've done it. We're actually going to start doing it, me and Tommy, from next week. So
yeah,
we're on board with the mentorship, but it's for everyone. It's for all cattle fish, whether you're in business, whether you're in fitness, whether you're in anything.
Construction, beauty, hospitality, you know.
Get on them.
Even if you just want personal development, this is the mentorship for you. This is the program for you. And as always, our day 1 sponsor, R Kings.
Yeah, R Kings competitions. If you want to win phones, case prizes, holidays, cars, everything and anything is on their site. So get there, in it to win it. So get on their website, rkingscompetitions.com.
So with that all been said, today we've got a very special guest on the show.
A man we've been trying to get for ages, and he has never showed up. But finally, we've cornered him, and he's here.
Well, he lives on the other side of the world. Like,
he does.
So, let's welcome to the gym, Mr. John Hutchinson.
You.
Nice to be on, guys.
What's happening? Obviously, right now you're known as a massive coach in MMA. But let's bring it back to where you started, because you started boxing. Obviously, it wasn't in MMA that you started. Was your family?
No, my granddad was a big following of boxing, but none of them boxed, you know. And I just remember the younger age and the fights like Tyson and all, watching that. I always just got inspired by it, you know. And I always remember watching Barry McGuigan and them and Steve Collins and all. I was always just that bit of eager to box.
Jeez, what age did you join?
I was late. I went when I was like about 13 for a week or 2. I didn't go back. And then
got battered and then go back. That's usually what happens.
We were messing about that age. Like, I was a rascal at 13. Like, I left school and everything at 13.
Did you?
I was the youngest in the school.
How can you leave school at 13? That's called illegal.
I went into the first year. And I thought, I got suspended 13 times at school.
Fuck off.
For stupid things, smoking cigarettes, everything. I was a nightmare, like, you know. I was like,
you're mad that I go nuts?
I'll go mental. But what it was, you know, in Donegal, so you were like a bricklayer or a plasterer, you know, and all my uncles that, and I kept getting suspended to go and work with them. So my uncle Seamus, now God rest him, they were doing this big job in the town street, and I said, I'm gonna get suspended and go and work, you know. So I can't remember what I'd done. I got suspended 10 days or so. I said, I'm suspended again. I'm going working. I don't know if it was my dad or my mom rang my uncle and said, don't let him come back. So he suspended me from work then. You know?
Shot himself in the foot.
Shot me in the foot.
So they didn't want you to leave school?
They didn't want me. Like, they'd murder me. So I then remember my mom going, look, if you get a job, you can leave. And I thought, I'm only 13.
That's crazy.
I took off on a BMX, you know, and cycled around.
Jesus. Stabilizer still on.
There was a big boom on that time, the Celtic Tiger, wasn't there? And I got a job labouring, and I was over the moon.
You must have been like the 14 or 10 and built like a thing.
Now when I think about it, like, I wouldn't do it. Like, I wouldn't tell anybody to do it. Like, I was just thrown in the deep end, living the brickies, my back broke, but I loved it. I didn't want to be at school, you know.
Some people
So-
hate it. See, sitting in the classroom, it's not for everyone.
It wasn't for me. I just hated school, like. And then my little brother, he was boxing, and they were all loving him in the house, you know. So it's a bit like,
Yeah.
let me have a little go at this, you know. And then I realized, I think I was like 18, I went back because I wasn't in shape. I remember doing the warm up, and I was like, I'm in bad shape. I need to go at it. The next thing I started to stick in the training. 10 days later, I was fighting in Derry, and there's a bit of like rivalry up there, you know, like
yeah.
close to the border and all. And that was it. I was hooked then, you know. There was no
Did
turning
you win
back.
your first fight?
Won the first fight.
you?
So I
Did
got
you have
one.
did you have much amateur?
I think I had about 38 fights
Did
or
you?
something like
Alright,
that.
that's alright. What age did you turn pro at?
I turned pro. I was late, 25, so I was.
25?
And
And then-
24, 25, I think it was.
Because that's when I first met. When I first met you was over in Marbella.
Marbella, that's
we were in
right there.
Marbs, sunning it up, living it up. Slancha bar for our food. It was fucking great.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I
wasn't
remember,
it?
I remember walking. This is how insane he is. We were walking about, and we must have been sharing a house or whatever. And I see all this spit out the back, but it's all food. He was walking about trying to lose weight. He was eating buns and spitting it out so he wouldn't put on any weight. He just wanted to taste it.
Just get a taste, just get a feel of it.
Because it was me and Tyrone White Chocolate, you know, and we used to live in Birmingham together training, and that guy would just be living in a sweatsuit and then just
It's crazy, isn't it?
fill him up with pure junk. And I go, no, just eat it and spit it. Like. You know, you get the taste of it, don't you? You know?
I started trying to do it as well, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
But Tyrone's an animal. Like, he used to train in sweatsuit flat out.
How did they do it?
And doing them remember them bar jumps? Did you have to, you used to have to
Yeah,
do-
jump the bar.
he used to do them in sweatsuits, and then you had to run like a cane, run back and do it again. And the man would be miles ahead of you. Miles ahead
He
of you.
was a
and you're
freak in nature,
He was a
wasn't
freak in nature. He was. I think he's doing a 40 or 50K here soon.
Is he?
He's back in the running. But so you turned pro, and you had an infamous dust up. It was 2 fights with a friend of the podcast, Jared Healy.
Jared Healy. I had 3 fights with Jared, you know. I boxed him as an amateur as well.
Did you? Who won amateur?
I beat him as an
Did
amateur.
you?
I beat him 3 times.
He had to get it out there, didn't he?
Well, we had the technical draw because
headbutt.
but he
was a-
tried to blame me
there was
for
a lot of-
headbutting him. Like,
There was a lot of
Was it bad
animosity
cut?
going into that fight.
there was like we just charged at each other. There was no boxing.
Why did
me
you just
and-
hit each other?
We had bigger fights on Facebook at that time. There was like 200 comments, like my friends and his friends going, "You're gonna get it," and this, and well, "You're gonna get it."
How
so
did
they
the rivalry begin?
I don't know. The first fight we fought on
Was it in the Deadness, was it?
where did we fight in the first one? I think it was
was in the
Big
City
Furies
Hall, wasn't it?
on the card. So it was
Oh.
Tyson Furies, and then we fought. And he said that he won, but I won. I said, all right, let's get a rematch then. And then it was a pure grudge match. And then we had the head clash. So he's cutting the top of the head.
Yeah, I remember it.
Unless I've jumped up and went like that, but he's come in with the head like.
You were dirty, so you were dirty. John Hutchinson was dirty, dirty man.
But we had this argument then. Anyways, we're outside. And my sister's like, she's wild quiet, you know. And I think she was trying to explain to Jared's wife, like, like it wasn't our John. And she shouted something to my sister, like, you know, like, and then he piped up at me, like, we're going to go at it in the street.
Sick in the street.
But we all got separated. And then
He did offer you a street fight after one of the fights, didn't he?
you want to see the comments, like, come on up here, like, and I always thought, I never seen him. And then I was training in Breen's gym in Belfast, and I was walking through the castle court. I got off the 212 bus from Derry, like, I was like, I'm busting for a piss. Went into the toilets in there, and he was there with his kid. And I go, oh no, it's a roll up the sleeve. Like, I would say, like, only his kid was there. And, but you know what?
Did he say anything?
No, we didn't do it then. But did we have one more fight after that? I can't remember. But we always be in touch, you know. He's a good guy.
Is your friends now?
Good friends. I was chatting to him this morning, you know, like.
Yeah, but that's what fights do. I think
Yeah.
you have that beef, and then after you have a fight, these are mates again. Like,
It's funny how boxing works. It brings everybody
really
together,
does,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, because there's people that I proper hate it, and then I fought them, and then after I'm like, I actually like him.
Aye,
Alright.
and they turn out great
Yeah,
guys, don't
but
they?
did you used to get a bus every day from
He used to
Donegal,
travel
Every day, you know, I used
Donegal
to.
to Belfast?
I remember now as a coach, I was thinking, how did I do it? Like I used to get up. At that time, I wouldn't go to work. Then I was like, I had a little small gym. I was,
You were suspended from
I was
work.
like,
What are you talking about?
I was like, frigate, I'm going full time boxing.
Uh.
But that time, like, you know how it is around here. If I had to said to somebody in Ireland or like Buncrana, I'm going full time pro. There's no pros there. Get back in your building side. Never, you know, it was like
Yeah.
talking to a wall, you
Yeah.
know. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'd rather sit in that bus every day and look out at the guys on the groundworks in the rain. I think this is the life, you know.
That's something I look at and go, I'd hate to be doing that. That's like my worst job, labouring.
And I
I'm a
used to
lazy
look out
bastard.
and the boys were doing construction. I'd be over the moon, you know.
that.
But now thinking back to that, you could use your time wiser, you know, like listening to podcasts and all that time. You're just not on the
just
bus
sitting on a
and
bus.
just being.
Can you not drive? No.
You know what it was? It was more tiring driving, wasn't it?
Right.
You just could lie on and relax after training.
Yeah.
But Breen's Gym, there was something. I remember you up there as well training.
Yeah.
The heat. Do you
The
remember the
heat's
gas
so warm.
heaters?
The
But that
gas
gas
heaters-
can't be good for
so
you,
th-
can
so
it?
this-
Definitely not.
This gym it's about the size of this room and had gas heaters in it for everyone to lose weight.
Place was
People are
boiling.
sparring
Oh,
10 rounds, 12
boiling.
rounds spars in sweatsuits. Fucking it was
I tell you,
tough.
you didn't learn much in there, but it toughened you up.
It was a
just-
tough gym.
Like you left there like a man, didn't you? Like, you know what I mean? You went in like getting sparred every day, every day.
I loved
sir.
it. I love sparring. So that's one of my
You
favorite things.
loved it, didn't
We
you?
had a few wars in
Did you used to spar?
we
We were
in
sparring too
Marbella.
in Marbella.
I remember he came over him, and the first day you were there, I think he sparred.
I think so, aye.
That
That's
was
right,
great,
we had a
great.
few spars.
But I loved Marbella. Marbella was great. Just everyone was paid for everything, and
Great,
the
wasn't it?
food was paid for, the gym was paid for, your accommodation was paid
Oh,
for.
it
It
was
was fucking
brilliant.
great. And then you moved. I think that's when you moved to Thailand from Marbella.
I went from there to Thailand.
You were supposed to open your own gym out there or something.
I was gonna open one there, and then there's politics over there, you
Yeah.
know. And I thought, you know what, it wasn't the time to open it. Just focus on what you're doing, you know, like just keep doing, and one day that will come, you know.
Did you go over to try and be a pro just like you were doing in Marbella, or were
like
you?
continue
Did you have the
career?
mindset you're going over to be a coach?
I was there like training, and I thought, you know, just you was there yourself. Thought there's no place for getting your fitness up. You know, it's like the heat, everything's done. I go, I'm gonna go back, get super fit, and then I'm gonna go from there. And that's what happened. I kept getting attracted to it, you know. And then I think I was kind of like going back and forward, fighting in Australia and going back more. And
That's
then
right. You lived in Australia for a while as well.
I was in Australia. I fought, where did I fight? Brisbane, Sydney, Perth, you know, all around. And that was good, but something kept taking me back to Thailand.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I went to Tiger Muay Thai. I wasn't like there that
Just
time.
to train.
Just to train. There was a guy, an Australian guy, who was a coach there at the time. He said, I'll help you out, let's go. And then they asked me, could I help coaching? And then I think it was like basically a week or two, everybody was calling me a coach. And I'm like, hold on, I'm no
He didn't
coach.
want this job.
I'm
He
like,
just got
I'm
pushed
no
in it.
coach, you know. In my head at that time, I
Yeah.
wasn't, you know. I was still fighting.
Mm.
And then I remember I was sitting in like the Mama's restaurant, and Peter Yan that time wasn't in the UFC. He was just starting the UFC.
Peter Young.
And everybody knew him, you know, like.
He was massive.
But that time was just before he was
just
breaking
Oh,
out, you
right,
know,
right,
like.
right.
And then I kind of met him there. And then one day he must have been watching me doing pads now. And he came up to me with, hello, coach. He goes, can we do pause? You know, they call it pause, you know. And I was, okay. And we done a session with no English or Russian, you know, like no
'Cause
language.
he didn't speak English at the time, did he?
None at that time, zero, you know.
And you don't speak English either, so it's
Well,
pretty hard for him.
I don't know how that, but we clicked, you know. And the next day, I
Who said
message.
it? There was TMT on the video before. It was only after Peter Ann fight. Peter Ann, who doesn't speak English but speaks very broken English, was on talking, no subtitles. He starts talking, subtitles flash up, and the funny, all the subtitles were wrong. He wasn't even what he was saying.
I got some stick for that, you know.
But go ahead, what were you saying about Peter?
But anyways, I think it was like 2 days later, he texts me, he's like, when we trained next, so I had a bit of a good camp with him. And I think he went over to Singapore, had his debut, and he smashed the guy, like knocked him out. And then, anyways, I went back to Australia, and I was getting ready for a fight, and I had an hour message from him, and he's like, "Coach, when you back in Thailand, I have an hour fight." So
What are
that
you
time
fucking
I was
talking
like,
about? I'm not a coach.
I was like, I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the coaching, but I was still in that, like,
You still had your own
yeah, you know what I
aspirations.
mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going back to Thailand, freak this, and I said,
Yeah,
and
fuck
I
right.
went back. We done the Nord camp, and then like I just stayed with Peter Yan. I was only just training with him, and then I think it just happened so fast. Next thing, I was in. Remember, COVID started. Like I was in a bubble 14 days with a guy in Abu Dhabi, and we were fighting and with Jose Aldo. I remember walking out, the arena packed. I was like, "What the freak's going on here?"
Yeah.
I'm on like one of the biggest fights in the world right now. You know, it just
Crazy.
happened like that.
Crazy. Were you shitting yourself going out this?
No, you know what? I wasn't, sir. I've kind of, I had a little shed in Buncrana, a little gym.
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't even know if I was a southpaw, a karate man teaching me, you know, like, I just had a dream of big fights.
Yeah.
And I thought, is this it now? Is this where I'm
This is
at?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
and
So
it
you
gives me like,
manifested it, kind of.
it really is. Like, if I had to said that, I used to say to my mother, like, I'd say, I'm going to be in big fights one day. And I was like, here we are. And it just kind of just went on from that, you know?
I went, as you said, I went very quickly because you just went from Thailand, and the next thing I seen, you're in Peter, you're on interviews with Peter Yan, you're doing big things with Peter Yan, world title fights. And I went, fuck me, it was a quick change. It
I went,
was like 6 months or something.
it was crazy. I think it was like 8 world titles. And then I started training Brazilian Fabrício Andre. Then we went and won the one championship world title.
That one championship was crazy.
See, if anybody, Friday night fight nights, if you like good fights, don't miss them.
Yeah.
Unreal
When
striking.
I was over Thailand, I was watching them because I'm not big into all that MMA or all the different ones that they're in Tiger Gym. But I watched them over, and they're fucking animals. Yeah, Muay Thai. Muay Thai is scary.
It's scary. Like now they're starting to get paid a bit better, but for the money
they get fuck all, don't they?
well, one championship they're good money, but for getting your legs broke and brain damage, it's not worth it. Like,
it's like boxing times 10 with how brutal it is.
It's brutal.
How was the transition from going from a boxer or boxing to being a coach for MMA people?
I don't know how it worked. Maybe I was saying like the law of attraction. I kept saying I'm gonna win all these belts. I kept saying all the belts, and I don't know what it meant at the time. Next thing I was in a world title fight in Muay Thai against Jonathan Haggerty, Lobo, and Brazilian. Then I was in a kickboxing. Sorry, it was the kickboxing against Haggerty, and it just kept going on. I was like, how am I going in there? Like Muay Thai, I never kickboxed in Muay Thai or MMA in my life.
Do you have to switch the style up? But obviously boxers are boxers.
100%, it's like a different style, you know.
Because they have to think about kicks and all as well.
Yeah, it's totally different. I don't know, I kind of picked it up quick thinking about range and distance and kicks. It's something that I really enjoyed. I used to go home like and just do hours and hours of video like the video work was very important, you know, like a lot of study went in for it.
Yeah.
And then I got this stage then, I was like, and then it came Anatoly Maligan, you know, the heavyweight guy. I was training a guy called Khalil Roundtree. I got asked to help him do a bit of striking. And we were doing a bit of work with him. And then I couldn't get sparring from him. I didn't know Anatoly. And Anatoly just arrived in Tiger. And I said, could you spar with Coach COVID? No. I said, look, he's fighting in Abu Dhabi in 2 weeks. Just give him one good spar. He's like, okay.
And he said he had COVID? And the
and they had to do 2 weeks quarantine, right? And he sparred him, and within like 30 seconds, nose went like, and the guy's fighting like he had to go like more or less half crying, like not, but like he goes, Coach. I think I didn't mean it. I go, no. And then the world coach would look at me, what's this happening? So when I went to Abu Dhabi then, I was thinking, who's that Russian guy there? Like, he was just wild, you know, swinging, but power, like. And I thought, I'm going to work on him when I get back. So I went on over to Miami, to PDN. and we had who was he fighting over there? Aljamain. And we had a fight there. He ended up getting disqualification with a knee. Remember?
I remember it. I
That's what he
remember it.
did. And I went back then, and I started working with Anatoly. Same, no English, no. Next thing, 2 or 3 weeks later, I was in Singapore with the guy, like, and I had to go in quarantine in this room. And after the 12 hours up, we could go to the room, and he had to message me, his coach, where's my wallet? He left it all there, but you see,
Fuck's sake.
Singapore, right? It's that safe, sir. It was still there the
Still
next
there.
day. Nobody lifted it.
That's insane.
Insane, like.
Fuck me.
And then I just stayed with Anatoly. He's the first fighter and the only fighter ever to win 3 belts in MMA. Like, he's a triple-weight champion. From heavyweight to light heavyweight to middleweight, 26 kilos he stripped.
That's crazy.
Man.
Mental.
Because the differences in MMA weights are massive jumps as well.
It's far different. That's crazy. Like, you know.
See, when you're in a corner with an MMA fighter, who's like takes the lead? Because obviously you're the striking coach or the grappling coach or whatever.
So I've been like basically the main face in
Have
the
you?
corner for him. You know, for Anatoly, I remember saying to him the first fight.
Do you have a translator or what?
No, so he said, wait, this is mental. Like, I said to him, right, are we going to take this wrestling coach because we're the wrestling guy? Like, because I'm not a wrestling guy. He said, don't need it. I'm a wrestler. Just me and you, coach. But in the end up, like when I think back, that we lost the heavyweight title there. So we did, you know, Rug, this big, strong, like really strong guy. And I think that Anatoly, I don't know, it is. You ever have an off night where you don't stick to plan and you're intending knocking
all
people
the time.
out?
All the
You
fucking
know?
time. Off nights. That's what I have.
But thinking back now, it was just me, him, and his wife in the corner. You know,
His wife
like
was in the corner?
she's brilliant. She's with us all the time. He needs
she
his
know what's
family
talking about?
around.
Or
But-
does she just be quiet in the corner?
But I don't think, honestly, it was great for that fight. The more I'm thinking it, because I remember her shouting him like, "Sweetie," you know, like "Sweetie," and like what you know, brought the downer on him. Like, Anatoly, listen to me, like, and he was like in his downer going, and he panicked, you know.
Yeah.
But I do believe that stripping all that weight played a big. The power wasn't there.
It's crazy the weight that MMA fighters
How did he
strip.
do it? Was that part of the plan when you started working with him to get the weight off, or did it just happen?
Well, he was a wrestler. Like, he was like one of the highest level wrestlers in Russia. Like, one of the best. Like, he's a monster. Like, and he just needed a bit of work on his boxing. And then when our first fight, I think it was a 50K bonus he got for a knockout.
Good.
And he goes, Johnny, my first knockout. And he goes, never mind that wrestling. We're going to box 50K. And then he went on. The next fight, I don't know, it was the next one. He got a 100K bonus. He knocked him out twice as hard. And then another bonus 50. He got 250K bonuses.
Was it him that bought you the car?
Him and Peter Yan.
That was
they
some
both
car.
done-
What car was that?
brilliant. Bought me a Ranger, like a Jeep, you
It was
know,
a
a
good wee
truck.
video. Is it on your Instagram, your video?
It's on my
He
Instagram.
sprays him
aye.
with a big whip.
It was funny because I was going to buy one, you know, and they must have knew it. And there was a guy whoever was getting the commission, you know, and I was doing the deal through him. And next thing I got this video from him, he goes, "Oh, your friends are here buying you a Jeep." I was like, "What?"
Did he ruin the surprise?
And I was like, "Hold on a
Fuck's
minute."
sake.
So I didn't see Peter Yan because his back, but I seen Anatoly and his wife Anita. I text my wife and I was like, "Look, I think they're getting me a car." But I didn't know the way they'd done it. That he said, "Johnny, I'm on the gym. Come on, where are you? Let's go training." So I took off running, like, you know. And then I kind of seen it. Then all the cameras.
Happy
I
days.
thought,
Loving life.
it was brilliant. I was
That's fucking brilliant.
cruising about then with Russian songs in Thailand. A paddy.
How do you find living in Thailand? Because it's a completely different.
No, Toronto man on honeymoon was like, I'm staying. I'm
I'm
not
staying.
coming back.
Love it.
I
I'm gonna
came and
stay
met
with
you in
John.
Belfast, didn't it? Or in Bangkok.
I put it in a wee Irish bar.
That's right. It was
That's
good,
good,
wasn't it?
That's great. I loved Thailand, but if I remember correctly, when you were working or living in Spain with me, you're a picky eater. Like you only eat Irish food, like plain Irish food, and you went over to Thailand, which is fucking scorpions on sticks. And
Ah,
so how
did you eat all that stuff?
I
I
know.
didn't try it. I
So
didn't try it.
you just
Fuck's sake, how long are you there?
I'm there 10 years,
You
but
still haven't
I
tried
still
it?
wouldn't do the scorpion
would
stuff.
you,
Like, you
would you
know,
eat all like the Thailand food now? Would you?
I love it.
Do you?
Like, my wife's mother-in-law is a chef. They cook it and also, you know, it's great. But,
Do you speak the language?
you know, as I said,
Sawadee ka.
school is not for me. Like, someone goes, well, you're in Thailand 10 years and you can't speak Thai. I have about 10 words. Like,
Fuck's sake.
I should. I went to school.
Because your wife is from Thailand, isn't she?
But she won't teach. She's like, you need patience, like, you know, and forget it. It's only a word, like,
She's
you
fucking
know.
slobbering about you and Peg don't even know.
Do you not
You
feel
don't
like
even know
everyone's talking about you when you're around?
I know. I should, you know, I should learn
You should learn it secretly. I would learn it secretly
Yeah.
and then just listen to see what they're all talking about.
It would be good to learn it, but I was listening to Andrew Tate, and he's like, I wouldn't learn a language unless it makes you money. Like, you're wasting time, isn't it?
Well,
And I
sure,
thought,
you
you
you're
live in
right.
Thailand, you would make money.
You're right. If you look at that, I might get it. You're right.
So what fighters do you have now at the minute?
Right now, it's just like boxing I'm doing now,
You're
you
just
know.
doing boxing?
Aye. So, like, I was on Christmas Day, I was like, you know what? I had 3 tears from my shoulder and my tricep. I
What
was on
from pads?
Pads?
pads, just like consistent pads, you
Fuck
know.
me.
Like, not small punchers, big
They're big
punchers.
Anatolian shit.
And I just finished like camps where like Fabricio had a fight. Tim Zoo, like he was like big punchers, you know, and I thought I need a break. So I thought this year I'm gonna do less, but
Mm.
work more on myself, you know, like
Yeah.
health, get myself back. And I go, you know what? I've
So
been
basically,
talking
you're unemployed.
unemployed, an entrepreneur.
That-
In my mind, I'm like practicing like how retired life
Yeah.
would look, you know, that kind of
It's
way.
born. Retirement life is born. I
I've
had for 3
enjoyed it,
months.
sir. I've enjoyed
But you
it.
know what? Retirement life in Thailand's probably fucking good.
It's good, but you know, I've loved being back in Ireland. You know, I've always thought like anytime I was here before, I had to work and all. Now I'm back, I'm
You're
just
chill.
Relax, yeah.
Life's good. You know, it's
And
a great
You live
place.
in Buncrana, don't you? I
Buncrana,
love it's one of my favourite places to
it's
visit.
beautiful, isn't it?
I love it.
You know,
What's a
it's
wee bar in there called that Oisin works in?
Flower Days.
Flaherty.
Flaherty.
What a bar, sure, Oisin.
Big shout out to them. They're legends.
See,
you know.
everyone in Buncrana are all legends.
So I was chatting to Baker, the owner, and they have a little small belt of mine some years ago in the corner. And I said, you know what? Anatoly gave me one of the belts when we won the 3 belts in the super fight. I go, I'm going to take that back for you. I said, no way. Because I got
brought it to them, did you?
No, but next time I move home, I'm going to take the belt and they can put it in the corner of the bar. and all.
Powerful. Would you ever, do you think you're going to stay in Thailand forever, or would you move?
In my mind now that I'd love to move home.
Would you?
Getting
homesick?
I wouldn't say, I don't know, something's attracting me. I always thought like,
It's strange because you've always, since I've heard of you, you've always been in a different country. You've never been home. You've never been in Donegal.
never know.
You're always in, like you say, in Australia, Thailand, Spain. Were you in America ever? No.
I was in America too,
Uh-huh.
Boston,
So
everywhere.
you've been everywhere,
Everywhere.
but Donegal. So you can't really be homesick when you've
You-
never been there.
You know what it is? You know better than anybody. When I always felt like you wanted to keep learning, didn't you?
Mm.
It wasn't that a coach, and I just wanted to box and all. And I felt like everything I've learned to every coach now, I've got my own little style, you know. And I think that's a good time now. If I did open a gym, it's a
Yeah.
good time because a lot of boxers keep turning up. I only say
Would
that.
it be a boxing gym you'd open, or would it be
I think now, like maybe down the line, I might go back to MMA. If I was gonna do MMA, I'd probably just keep helping Anatoly. But right now, I'm not interested in it. I'm just gonna go straight into boxing.
So do you want to have like a boxing gym, like Brain's gym, or do you want to have something, I guess,
We're
like
gonna have,
Paddy's gym? Like he does boxing classes for like everyday people. You don't have to be a boxer or trainer.
only boxing.
Only
You know, only
pros.
just fighters. You know, it's
yeah.
just I helped my friend in his gym yesterday just for a gym opening. And then, you know, from the highest level fighters, and then I had the little fitness
It's
people.
just-
I can't do this again.
So do you not do PT or anything over?
I
in
don't even do PTs now,
Just-
like,
you
just
just-
fight camps.
fighters, huh?
So now I fly back now tomorrow, and I have the 2004 Olympian from Kazakhstan arriving, and a top ranked fighter.
Does he speak
20
English?
I don't know.
It's-
I don't even. His manager messaged me, and it was all set up now, so that's why I'm going back. I'll probably do the 8-week camp out there, and then I have another little fighter out there, little Harry, a guy from London.
Mm.
He arrived out. He's only 16. I trained him. Was it 5 years ago when he was 11, and his dad sent him out to me. And I said, what he was in Cuba now, you know, with a Cuban team and all. I said, what's your plans? He goes, I want to go pro, but I have to wait your 18. I said, no, you can do it at 16, Thailand. Now he's 3-0.
Is he?
3-0. So my goal is to get him to 10-0 this year.
Is he living it there?
He's 50-50 coming over
Right,
and back,
yeah.
you know, and
So that's a big change for 16. A big risk for 16.
3-0. Like, now he's got 2 fights in June 3rd and June 27th. He'll be 5-0. All touch wood, you know, and by the time he's 18, you could go to anybody, like, you know. I was speaking to, like, Michael now, I said, keep an eye on him, you know, if we can get him a good contract when he's 18,
100%.
you know.
See when your fighters in camp, do you be in camp? Like, do you be off the drink and eating healthy
I
and
be,
training
like,
with them? Or
full on it, you know, it's like,
you haven't put on much weight since you retired.
you know what, over there, I don't know,
He's done like a scorpions and all.
He's not eating. He's not eating.
but see, I was just saying there, over in Thailand, I don't train. I'll just be walking and I would eat clean. And like I was in good shape.
See-
But I came back here. I've had more time. I've been in the gym every day. I've got fatter. Like, that's the good Irish food, isn't it?
See the even the coaches when you are doing pads with fighters, because it's so hot, you're getting a serious fucking workout as well.
Sweat lashes off, you know. So does it.
Would you find now that you get into all these big, massive fights, you get a lot of people coming out of the woodworks wanting to work with you and wanting to train me, and you have to turn them down?
You do. There was one time, like I can't remember how many camps I was doing. I was doing like big names like Brendan Loughnane, Darren Till, Petey and Anatoly. There was like 6 camps going on. Imagine doing all the video work and all that. Now you think fast forward in a year, I would never go back to that. You're just burnt
Putting
out.
under too much pressure.
Burnt. One person doesn't get the full
Yeah.
like energy of you.
See, when you had them 6 camps going on, were
Aye.
they all training together, or were you like
all
going
different
from
times.
one session to the next session?
Yeah.
So they're all one-on-one sessions. You never done like
No,
group sessions.
all different. All like one very
you must have been
working close.
balanced.
Ah, lad. Like, and then I had this when I first started coaching there. I think it was like the record. I done like 38 PTs, but I think back there I was like, what does it get you? Sore arms and yeah, but the money and all. What?
Yeah.
Frig
You're
that.
not
Just
enjoying it.
focus on the fight and the belts and
Yeah.
the coins. You know,
What-
like.
What do you think was your big moment in coaching so far? What has been your proudest achievement?
Well, it was a good feeling in a super fight, like to win 3 belts. You know, like I was in Doha, the first big event in Qatar. You know, knocking out Jose Aldo was good.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
crazy.
like all
That's a
them
big name
moments
to be
was
beaten.
good. Everything I've enjoyed every world title fight. You know,
Yeah.
like I was in this year. I've only just got back from Sydney, you know. I was in Sydney at the start of the year. I was with this German guy, Bazir, 19-1. He arrived in Thailand, and his coach couldn't go to Australia with visa problems. I done his camp. I was straight into like a WBO and the smaller one, and then Intercontinental, I think it is.
Intercontinental.
But it gave me a taste of how boxing could be. I was the venue was a bit smaller like the UFC, you know, but it was 6,000 people, fireworks,
That's still good to
and
me.
you're in the corner and the cameras are coming on. I go, it's getting real here.
Yeah.
And like if this is just my first taste of boxing coaching this year,
Yeah,
could only go up.
yeah.
Definitely. Do you know what? I think you're an exception, or would you say you're an exception? The way your coaching careers took off, because it sounds like so easy. Like I'm sitting going, Geez, I should go to Thailand. I start coaching all around me, but
I
like,
don't know how. I don't know. I was chatting to. Do you ever remember the fighter Jamie Cox? No,
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
he could bang,
yeah,
couldn't he? Like he
yeah.
was a puncher, and I was chatting to him. He messaged me the other day because he's in the bare knuckle, but
Is
helping
he?
him
Is
out
he?
coaching. You know,
Would you do bare knuckle?
I said, if there's a belt on it, maybe we'll get all the belts, you know. But he said, I was telling him about the fighters working. He goes, I'm not surprised, John. He goes, look what you're doing with them. It sank in then a bit, like,
Mm,
'cause every fighter I worked with, we had 2 belts, 3 belts nearly.
yeah.
Like, we were doing something right. And we wasn't even just beating them, we were chinning them,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
putting them
See,
away.
like, when you're coaching MMA guys, did you have to start doing a couple classes, like, just to get a feel for it, like grappling classes or
Y-
like to learn about
Like, I was
kicking and
always
stuff?
there, like, watching
Just
and
watching?
but it wasn't for me, like. I
Yeah.
never had no
Have you ever
interest in
even
it.
tried to spar MMA? No.
I sparred Peter Yan, he fly kicked me and everything, like, you know what I mean? I went over in the USCPA in Vegas, like, and it was meant to be boxing, like, you
Yeah.
know.
And he
Next
flag
thing he
kicked.
just whip, boom.
What's
But
it like in the UFC? Is because that's like the pinnacle for the MMA fighters to get to. So, like, when you get there, have you noticed a difference in UFC, like setups and shows and the others?
yeah, whatever way they do it,
You know.
it's big. But I tell you, one championship, it's a bit smaller, right? It's like the Premier League and the Championship, you know. You go away in one of their events, lifted, the best of the best, your own
Mm.
room, food. Like these guys are
Yeah,
legit.
see?
Would you say you've obviously done a pro boxing one now? Would you say all the setup and how you're treating MMA is better than boxing, or do you think it's still the way around, or what? Because obviously boxers get like paid way better than with
Uh,
But is
MMA
that
ones.
true? Is that true? Because it's all Dana
well,
White saying that's less.
well, Anatoly is probably one of the highest paid heavyweights out there. You know, $250,000 just for knocking people
And
out.
bonuses, yeah.
You
Mm.
know, and then
Is that American
win
dollars?
plus bonuses. They get paid monthly salaries. The
Oh, do they?
champions do, yeah. So they're really well paid. You know.
I don't know. That'd be good to get a wee monthly
I know.
salary. That's what you need.
So like everybody would say, why doesn't Anatoly go to the UFC now? Like,
Mm.
I said, why would he? Because he's loyal to his team and he's probably paid far better. Like, and
Yeah.
his life's good.
And what's he, PFL?
He's in one
Oh,
championship.
one time.
But PFL pays good too, you know, they're good. Like,
Yeah.
there is good money in MMA, but the highest level of boxing, that's where it's at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
It's
Tim
hard.
Tszyu and them guys now, they're in big league, you know.
Yeah, and the money, by the sounds of the money difference between top UFC fighters and top boxers
Boxers,
is,
yeah.
There's no comparison to boxing.
which I think's mad because I think MMA is a lot harder than boxing because
Well, I say this all the time, like boxing is legit, like thinking game. To win a world title in boxing, you have to be the best, you know. But MMA, like think about it, you just got hands, and then next thing you're on your back getting choked. You got to be all around, like dedicated in every.
what do you
martial art.
think's the two main sports you've done in MMA?
Boxing and wrestling, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Like if you have good wrestling, like them Russians wrestling, like doesn't matter how hard you hit them, they get a hold of you, they'll just pin you to the ground and choke you
Game
out.
over.
I'm brutal at wrestling. I'd be terrible at MMA. But is there any MMA fighters that you've looked at them boxing going, they could actually make it in boxing?
There's a few there, you know. But this last while I haven't really focused on that. Now I'm looking at the boxers going, well, I know what I could do with
Yeah.
them.
Is there
you
much
know?
boxers over? Because when I was
More
over,
and
I think it was
more.
only boxers.
In the gym.
It's
Uh-huh.
starting to be like turning into, before it was only like MMA, Muay Thai. Now it's more boxing.
I think it should be. Every boxer should want to go over because everything's set up. Like you have the gym, it's just massive, and then you have the prep food. Oh, I see outside all the gyms. There's like a street of everything a fighter needs, like a laundry room, there's spa, there's a masseuse, there's prep food, there's everything. So that's a
It's-
place you want to go if you're a
it's
fighter, and it's cheap as fuck.
perfect.
Is it?
There's
Yeah,
no
it's cheap as fuck.
distractions. You know, yeah, you can go down to, like the north side of the
Yeah.
island where the bars and all, but this one street's called Soy Taid. It's like hot yoga, fitness gyms, CrossFit gyms,
Mm.
Muay Thai gyms,
Ice
everything.
bath places.
Now
and
there's a new gym getting built there. It's like Dubai standard, highest of money getting pumped in, hot baths, ice labs, all this stuff. If you're gonna win a world title, why wouldn't you go there? Like,
Mm.
you know, you're going there. You could be walking up a street, Cam's out, Shemaev, all them guys walking about. It's like insane.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
when I was there, I don't know much about MMA, but there was big names coming in and out the
oh,
door,
it's
like,
mental.
and they were just in sparring. People going mental as they were coming in. No. But boxing wasn't a big thing when I was over there. Like I couldn't even get a spar for fuck's sake.
No, there wouldn't have been nobody in your level there at that time, you know, but it is growing now, you
Yeah.
know. There's a sparring class in Tiger on a Wednesday, and I said, you'll never find it anywhere. There could be like 80 to 90 people in the class,
Spar?
and there'll be like UFC champions, one FC champion, boxers. There was a couple of boxers land from Australia, and they thought, there's nobody here to box. They were getting it, you know what I mean? It's a really good class, you know.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever go to, or is it just Hollywood? No, in kickboxer, do you ever go to fights again when Is there like a Tong Po right now in Thailand?
What's Tong Po?
Do you ever watch kickboxer?
No, I can't
Do you ever watch
remember it.
kickboxer?
Who-
I've never
oh,
watched
you-
kickboxing.
Jean-Claude Van
Jean-Claude
Damme.
Van Damme.
I can't
And he's-
remember it.
There's like Tong Po's the main
That's
man,
right.
but the event is like they do like all like the music and all, and they walk out to the ring and all the crowds all going wild. Is it like big fights again or?
There's big fights like in Bangkok. It's like the big city for the
And where
fights.
do you live?
Phuket, we're down like the south of the island on the beaches. Only a month ago I was up there. No, it was about 6 weeks now. And we're up, the young little guy, Harry, was fighting, right? And we've come outside and people was running like, and I said, what the fuck's going on here? There was a big earthquake, wasn't there?
A what?
An earthquake.
An earthquake?
And so
Fuck's
where do you hear
sake.
this? We got back to the hotel, right? So we couldn't get in the hotel, it was evaded. And I thought, you know what? I'm not standing around here. I'll go and get my steps in. I want to have. So I've got
There's
my
an
battery.
earthquake on. I'm going to get my steps in.
I've only had a bit of battery. And next thing I was walking, and like it was a stampede of people coming. I was like, hold on. I got off the side, and I was looking at one guy, what I was looking at, and this building was all the steam and all coming out, it was gonna crumble. And I thought, you know what? I'm not hanging about here to get I've took off running with him, right? So I don't know. I've got lost. I've thought, what's going on? You can't get into the buildings. They're all evacuated to charge your phone. 4 hours in Bangkok, I was walking around until somebody let me in to charge
Bangkok
my
has them
phone.
now.
It's mental.
See, in Thailand, do they have earthquakes regularly, or
Well,
was that a
that's the
freak?
first one I felt over there anyway, you know. But I
Do you know
think
if they usually have earthquakes in places, the buildings are made to like sustain it or cope with it, but it wasn't like that. No.
well, there was a few that really got like badly cracked. Our hotel was all cracked to frig, like. And then, like, when I looked at it, it's on 2 big round pillars. I thought, and then they said to me there's going to be an after one after.
Aftershocks.
I
Yeah.
was like, I couldn't sleep at night thinking the thing was going to crumble. Like,
You won't get that in Bangkok.
You don't get that in Bangkok.
well, going back to your question there, there's this, what's the name of the venue now in Bangkok where the one championship is? I forgot the name of it. It'll come to me. But the atmosphere in there, it's like a yard call, you know, that's where the main fighting is. People died in there, like.
Died in there?
Died like they
Fuck
go.
it.
It's the most lethal fights in
Is,
there.
is that the
look-
number one sport in Thailand?
See one
Muay Thai?
championship.
Number
One championship. Is that the one where they have all different? Like there's a boxing fight, there's a kickboxing fight.
Yeah, it's a mix.
Right, so there's everything
it's
in
a
one.
mix.
Yeah.
One championship, not like MMA. It's like a promotion that just does everything.
Yeah.
But I think, like when I was watching the Muay Thai, is just the scariest looking one I have.
And what happens is, so like, say it changes people's lives. They know, like, if they put on a performance a lifetime, you get $50,000. People going in there hungry, trying to take your head off. There's no stepping back.
Have you ever been? Because you've seen some massive names nowadays. Have you ever been starstruck? Or
I
do you
got
like-
starstruck a bit with McGregor, so I did.
Oh, did you? Did you?
I was in the camp with him in Abu Dhabi. No, Dubai, sorry. And I knew he was coming to the gym that night. So we're kind of prepared, you know. And I was doing sit-ups on the ball. And
Getting
whatever.
ready for McGregor. He's coming tonight.
But whenever I got up, I turned around, it was right behind me. I didn't see him, like, and he goes, and I remember he goes, John, it's finally nice to meet you. I said, oh, the fuck's this guy know my name, like? And I was like, I go, likewise. And he goes, thank you for looking after Meatball Molly and Shauna Brandon, the UFC fighter. I think he sponsored him, and I was helping him in the camp. I go, no, you're welcome. And Peter Yan was fighting in the background in the UFC gym. And he goes, hey, look up there, there's your guy. And he goes, don't forget, you owe me a spar. Do you remember that in the Twitter?
Nah.
So it was on Twitter, and he says, I'm the #1 boxer in the UFC. And I go, oh, due respect, Connor, you're not. Peter Yan is. And he tweeted me back, and he goes, all down to his good Irish coaching. He goes, all off is the Crumlin for a spar. So he said to me, don't forget you owe me a spar.
Peter Hans, some weight difference there.
Peter Yan, fuck steak, so what do you think?
So then they get to work, and like his team around him, like his media
everywhere.
Like, oh, this guy's on it, like, and sparring, he don't take it easy, like.
No.
Like, guys sparring.
And that's not usually the crack, so it's not with MMA, they kind of go 50%.
He don't take it easy, and these guys.
Obviously, boxing sparring, we go full pelt because we've got big gloves on, good head guards. But
they're small MMA
MMA have we
little 4-ounce
Why
gloves.
do you use them for sparring?
Like, you just feel it, like the impact of it,
But they throw, even if throwing 50% shots per would do damage.
But they was using, he makes sure everyone has big gloves. But there was one guy that flew in, and he was fighting, like, I think 10 days after the fight, and Connor hurt his leg, He's a good guy, He says, and the guy missed his fight. I think Connor paid him 10 times more in his fight. It worked out better for him, didn't it?
Fucking right.
And Tony should get a wee spar with McGregor. He's hurt my back.
My back.
He'll walk out with $1 million.
But what's the plans for this year? You said you might come home. What's the?
I would love to open a gym back here.
What's the chances about? Are you definitely thinking about coming home and opening a gym, or?
I believe so. I believe someone keeps track of me here all the time. Like, every time I come back here, it's getting harder to leave.
Would your missus move here? What?
I think she would try it. I don't know if she would. It's going to be hard for I know. Like, they're going to be freezing, And I don't know.
Does she cook you just Thailand food, or does she get up the Irish food as well?
No, she sticks to Thai food. But you know what it's like. We don't even cook. We just eat out.
It's so
cheaper to eat out.
It is so cheap.
Like, for us to go to a shop to buy meat and stuff, it's a headache. It's cheap there, like £3 or £4 a good dinner, like,
Thailand.
That's great.
I know.
You have to come over.
I love it. He always offers us over too.
Yeah, she got
Conor McGregor's job out there as well.
That's right. We chested.
He's loving it out there now, isn't he?
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Was he going over to try and coach in Tiger, and then he ended up?
I took him to Tiger, and we just got him, like, I couldn't promise him a job there because we had 4 coaches, and then Bangtao, they were looking, that's my old team, they were looking for me to go there. And I said, Connor, put your name in that, and they just got it, and it worked out good for him. There's some gym in there.
See, in MMA, is Ireland, like, massive respect for the coaches, because there's McGregor's coach, what was he called?
John Kavanagh.
John Kavanagh. And Conor McGregor. All striking coaches are from fucking
That's right.
Ireland. And what's so good about Ireland that we're doing so well in
I don't know. Maybe we just love boxing, don't we? Like, it's all about passion, isn't it? If you really love something.
But Ireland would be one of the top countries in MMA, wouldn't it? Or would it?
Well, I wouldn't. No, you couldn't beat the Russians.
No.
The wrestling. Irish maybe striking wise, but the wrestling. Ask anybody that wrestle with the Russian, the Dagestanis. It's a different level.
Going on like trips as an amateur to Kazakhstan and Ukraine. They always had wrestling teams.
Even in boxing training over there, they do wrestling. Like, half their training's wrestling. So,
but wrestlers are always around, and the gym's over. I don't know one wrestler from here.
No, nobody wrestles here. No, Like, you just thought just to swing and fight there. Like, why would you be grappling with it? But over there, it's different,
Yeah.
you know. I was in Siberia last year with Anatoly for a camp, PDN and all. Insane.
Mm.
The Russians, whoa.
Training ways.
Like, we're over, like, there's this Siberia, it's just in the middle of nowhere. No Wi-Fi, no nothing. Place where your mind goes to work, you know. And not a word of Russian, you know. And you're like, oh, we're up in this big camp where they all ski, you know. And nothing out there.
Can you
And
ski?
But that was mental experience.
Tell
Like,
you what, John, you're the most well-traveled person I've ever met, and you
That's
haven't picked up
I
one
don't
word
know.
in another
I
language.
still the strongest Donegal accent in the world.
it's mental.
Fuck's sake. How do you get it? How are you getting back?
Does your wife understand you?
Just about.
Does she speak good English, or is it like,
She's got 4 languages,
Right.
like,
Does she?
4 going on 5,
after
you
the
know.
ladsy one? Fuck's
I
sake.
know.
But she won't teach me, I don't know.
But thank you for coming on, John.
No
You're a
problem.
legend. It's great
Yeah.
to finally get you. Thanks for coming.
Yes, and remember, folks, our kings, make sure you get on to it.
Yeah, dream mentoring.
And
Get
if
on
you're
to it.
looking at much Bad Boys Mexican, there's
Yeah,
not a
I'm
crack.
actually going to get one of those tonight. But thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, and share. Join us on Patreon. It's only £2 a month, and you get all bonuses. So, boom.
With him weight going all the way.